So a lot of times we use previous legal cases to convince our local judges. How can we use such previous cases that are there for transgender people to make our local judges understand?
Yeah. So if your educational authorities are not like consenting to update your name in their educational records and give a copy to you, you can always take a copy of Jiva case saying that, listen, this happened in Karnataka, and the respondents were the authorities who were questioned by the court, where the Karnataka State Education Board and the PUC authorities, and they had in the same similar issue had directed the authorities to go on and change the record. So in law, we call this something called precedence, that a similar set of facts already happened and it was a similar issue that was raised before a particular judge, and the judge looked at all the prevailing laws and gave a favorable decision to me. And this is something that you also should do, because that's what the law is right now after this judgment. So you can do that by even taking NALSA, because even NALSA is something that is like fundamental to the entire trans rights and the law right now in India. So there is NALSA, for example, for right to marry, and your marriage registrar is not registering the marriage between a heterosexual and a transgender person, you can always show them the Madras High Court judgment and try to enforce them and see they have taken everything into consideration. Whatever objections that you are quoting, everything is there, and they have said that it's wrong and it's illegal and you have to register the marriage. So this is through which you try to educate the authorities about your rights and also get to enforce them in a legal manner.
So how can I find cases similar to mine? Is there a website, or can I go to the court website, or somewhere I can research if there are cases relating to transgender people?
So CLPR has consolidated most of these laws, including legislation, that is the acts such as the TG Act 2019, and even relevant case laws under different themes like right to marry, adoption, inheritance, and under a database called the South Asian Trans Law Database. I'd be happy to share it with you, the URL of that database, which is a collation of all legal documents that gives an entire picture of what the transgender rights are in India, but as well as in South Asian countries as well. For example, what is there in Pakistan, what is there in Nepal, what is there in Sri Lanka. So that would be hugely beneficial, and it's very easy to access because every judgment is put under a theme. For example, legal recognition for gender markers, so that you will find some 2-3 cases, and for example for right to marry you will find 3 cases, and like appeal against TG cars you'll find 1 case. So it's very intuitive website where you can just go and search for what kind of issues you're facing, and if there's something similar that has already been discussed by the courts and given a judgment which is favorable to you. There's also a summary for each judgment, so that sometimes you might not even understand the legalese that's used in the judgments, but the summary will help you understand what the core issue is and what ultimately the judge said.